morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope you are doing just fine. My name is Ian Coates, and welcome to Biology 1021, Week 1. Today there we'll be introducing the course itself, anatomy, physiology. We're even going to introduce you to a new language or two. To no further ado, we'll just get going. I just wanted to show you here that what you're seeing is how I like to, like if I'm in class, like in lecture here, then this is how I kind of like the screen. I don't do the slideshow view unless it's stated. Sometimes I will, and it also gives me a little bit of a preview of what's coming next, and it's a wider screen so I can fit more things on there if need be. So just for future reference there, for these lectures and videos there, this is the kind of the screen there we'll be looking at. And I like to play with my screens, as you can see here, and move things around. 1950s stop motion animation, that kind of a thing. But anyway, everything is great, and I hope you're great, and welcome to it. And let's get going, shall we? Greek and Latin. Here we go. As I said, this is an all new different language. Okay, the whole idea there of what anatomy and physiology is. We start you off in the micro, moving up into the macro, finishing up with the second portion of this course, Biology 1022, the next section after you finish this one. And that one is macrobiology, all the different organ systems, digestive, respiration, cardiovascular, these kinds of things. So you will need these words in your repertoire. Append, to hang, all right, to hang something. Cardi, heart. Sure, you know some of these already, right? Cran, cranium, pertains to part of the skull around the brain. Dorsal, position towards the back, all right, dorse. Homeo, like homeostasis, which is a huge part of this course and the next, okay. Maintenance of a stable environment internally, because it doesn't matter what's going on outside in the environment, okay, could be snowing, raining, sleet, tornadoes. Our body's job is to maintain a stable internal environment. Ology, the study of something. Meta, change. Stasis, maintenance of a stable internal environment. Homeostasis. Tomy, study of structures, which may involve cutting or removing body parts. Yum yum for sure. Hope you're not having a sandwich during this. Oh yeah, you'll get used to it though. Anatomy, physiology. Anatomy, the study of the structure of the human body. So here you're talking about the structure. Why does a hand have 4 fingers and a thumb? Well, everything that a hand has to do is related to those 4 fingers and the thumb. Look at this spider monkey here. Actually has 5 awesome appendages. Okay, you look at the heart rate here. Its shape, its structure is tied to its function. Okay, physiology, the study of the function of the human body. So anatomy, physiology, where the structure is tied directly to the function. All right, the complementary of structure and function. So we're going to look at biology as the study of all living things, including their structure, function, growth, and interrelationships. This is where you want to be. Like at the end of this course and then the end of the next one, Bio 1022, yes, we show you all of the different organ systems, but it's their interrelatedness and how they work together, talk to each other, rely on each other, because no organ system is better than the other. Okay. Anatomy is the study of physical structures within an organism. Physiology is how the physical structure functions. Okay, so what are living things? Okay, all living things have to move, change position. And you're thinking, well, trees don't move. Well, trees make seeds. Seeds are eaten by squirrels. Squirrels move, and we all know what squirrels do with the seeds. So, in fact, plants do move. Responsiveness, the reaction to change, absolutely, to maintain a homeostasis. Growth, reproduction, respiration, breathing of some kind. Okay? Digestion, being able to eat things. Absorption, absorb those things into your body. Circulation, there has to be a movement, okay, of hormones and sugars and gases to all of the different cells of the body. And excretion, removal of the wastes. So, nice little definition of living things. Genetic variation is important for the survival of populations of organisms to ensure that some will survive any major environmental change. And you think, the same two parents can have 4 children, okay? 2-year-old, 4-year-old, 6-year-old, 8-year-old. They look nothing like each other. They've never been seen before in the known universe. And you have to think, this whole idea of genetic variability, if there's a disease out there, you do not want, if there's a disease out there that somebody is susceptible to, well, if everybody is a clone, well, then you can say goodbye to your species, right? So that's why all people are different for the survival of the species against the onset of a particular disease or threat. Approximately 8.7 million species are currently known to be living on Earth. It's quite fantastical for sure. Even considering the vast amount of genetic variation that exists, all organisms can be categorized based on certain characteristics into one of the following 6 kingdoms. Okay, there's archaeobacteria, eubacteria, protists, fungi, plants, or animals. You got it. Interesting, eh? Look at all these. 4 out of 6 are absolutely microbial. Organization of living things here in each kingdom are categorized based on the following characteristics. Okay, single-celled or multi-celled. Okay, prokaryotic, which means before the nucleus. So these are bacteria. Okay, and that's how we know bacteria are older than us, because their makeup is much simpler than ours. They don't even have a nucleus. Okay, eukaryotic means after the onset of the nucleus. The environment, movement, where they live, how they move, how energy is acquired. You even see there that like the majority of creatures on Earth, they get their energy from the sun, directly or indirectly, right? Plants, absorb the sunlight, they make sugar, they release oxygen, they consume carbon dioxide, we breathe in the oxygen, eat the plants. Okay, so the sugar from the sun gets into us. But you look at the bottom of the ocean, there are these creatures there that are 8, 9, 10 kilometers down that are so far away from the sun. Where do they get their energy from? And there's a whole ecosystem there based on these thermal vents. So these are creatures there that do not get their energy from the sun. Interesting. Nice little slide here. You can pause the video and blow it up. You see, I kind of like so you can play with these things, right? Because sometimes the formatting just never seems to be quite right. And yeah, I just have a look here, and it breaks it all down into, there's your eubacteria, okay, plants, protists, fungi, animals, archaea. You have them all here. Thermophiles, which we'll get into later on. Okay, those are bacteria there that reside at very high temperatures. Surprising, eh? So all living things can be categorized into one of the 6 kingdoms. And there's another shot of them right here, and you see on the evolutionary tree who was first, second, and the offshoots here. Very interesting. And at the very end, fungi and animalia. Prokaryote organisms there, I want you to think pre-nucleus, as I said, very simple cell structures, no membrane-bound organelles. Now, what's an organelle? An organelle, cells have organs. And we're going to go through them, and you're going to know them all. Nucleus, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, to say just a few. DNA is located in the cytoplasm. Other structures include ribosomes and a cell wall. So you look at bacteria, very, very, very simple. Okay, their DNA is just floating around the cytoplasm. There's not even a special house for it. Eukaryotic, though, after the nucleus. They have a nucleus, that's where the DNA is, and you think the nucleus is just another barrier or protection, okay, from viruses or whatever. Very good. Archaeobacteria here, these are single-celled creatures. Bacteria, as we said, how do we know? Prokaryotic for sure. Extremely primitive, extreme environments, boiling, freezing, salty conditions here. And the whole thing with these kinds of bacteria is you're never ever going to get rid of them, ever. They were here billions of years before us, and they'll be here billions of years after. So it's all about microbial control. You're never going to get rid of them. And the amount of oxygen there that these guys produce, and the good and all the creatures there that eat these, the entire ecosystem would collapse if these bacteria were removed completely. So eubacteria, okay, these are single-cell prokaryotic, found almost everywhere on Earth. Okay, most are harmless, and I'm going to say this as well. Most bacteria are indeed harmless, 99%. Very small fraction are dangerous to humankind. Okay, but those can cause human disease such as tetanus, syphilis, pneumonia, TB. Yeah, bad ones. Nice little link there for your viewing pleasure. So, here we've got some bacterial infections, just some common ones, okay? There's lots more as well that we'll get into. When you're talking about the brain here, you'll see that there's linings of the brain called meninges. And you'll see there that meningitis, bacterial meningitis. The whole idea there's bacteria can get in, okay, cause inflammation, pressure on the brain, and you'll see here some bad ones. Listeria, streptococcus, that's a bad one there. Hemophilia, okay, streptococcus there to name a few. Strep, not the greatest, okay. There's strep infection, and then there's also a staph infection. Staph infections there, they can go from minimal to ferocious, so just be careful. Different kinds of pneumonia, skin infections there, staph, strep, pseudomonas, okay? These are all just different kinds of bacterial infections. STDs, sexually transmitted, there's your chlamydia, gonorrhea, okay? Urinary tract infections, also known as UTIs. Good exam question there is that who are more prone to UTIs, male or females, and that tends to be females, okay? The food poisoning, okay, there's lots of them there. Clostridium, okay. Some of these there can be pretty bad. There's salmonella, botulism there with your Clostridium. The whole idea there, if you open up a can of soup or something there that's in a can, and the can goes psh, almost like you're taking the top off a bottle of Pepsi or something, you want to throw that can out, because that means that there's been a bacterium in there that has been producing a gas, and now the contents of the can are under pressure. Okay, that's a telltale sign. Throw that can out. Helicobacter pylori. The whole idea there that stomach ulcers used to be thought to be caused by excess smoking, drinking, eating spicy foods, but as it turns out, just a bacteria. Okay, upper respiratory tract infections, sinusitis, eye infections, lots of them here. Okay, we'll hit most of these there before the course is over, and the next course as well. Protists, single-celled eukaryotic. So these are their own creatures. They don't rely on anything else. They're single-celled, and they have everything there that they need. Okay. They may have structures such as flagellar cilia, okay, for locomotion. Okay. Fungi, these guys here are eukaryotic just like us, okay, multicellular. Yeast, though, single cellular, eukaryotic like us. That means they have a nucleus. Non-photosynthetic. Okay, so these guys here are not involved in utilizing the sun for energy. Some are beneficial, some are extremely poisonous, like the death cap. Yeah, that's one there. If you're ever picking mushrooms, you better know what you're doing because there's lots of poisonous ones out there. Good. Strawberries, you'll see your mold and mildew there. Perfect. Plants, multicellular, eukaryotic, photosynthetic. Utilize the sun for direct energy. Can live on land or in water. Okay. Animals, multicellular, eukaryotic, non-photosynthetic, can live in land or in water and have locomotion of some kind. Okay, many times in my slideshow I include multiple choice questions. You should be looking at my presentation. Okay, so yep, very good. Here we go. So the next, whenever you see one of these here, yeah, okay, the answer's here, but you can just go into slideshow, and for some reason it's not, I don't want that. Slideshow. There we go, from current slide. So, it is important for organisms and species to be as similar as possible. No, not at all. And that's because of genetic variability. In which kingdom would you find a single-celled eukaryotic eukaryote that is photosynthetic? Aha, interesting. In which kingdom would eukaryotic non-photosynthetic multicellular organisms belong? Very good. And you can pause these there before I flip the answers. Okay, you can pause these there anytime. And, you know, these are here for you. Go through, have a look at them there, and you'll see the answers. Okay, which of the following can survive in extreme environments such as very high temperatures? Those are your archaea bacteria. All right, levels of organization. Now we're getting into the good stuff. Atom, molecule, macromolecule, organelles, cells. All right, so organelles are organs of a particular cell. A group of cells, we get tissue. A group of tissues, we get a tickle in your throat, so you need to have a cup of coffee. There we go. Sorry for that. So there's your organ, which is just a group of tissue. And then an organ system.